blanket.
Are those new underwear? That's nice.
No, they're old, but thanks for noticing. Once in a lifetime.
I love that.
This video and all content is made possible by our Patreon subscribers. For $3 a month, you can help keep the lights on here at From North to Wharf. Thank you for your ongoing support. And if you would like your own From North to Wharf merchandise, head to fromnorthtowharf.threadless.com.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to an all-new episode of From the Great North to Wonder Wharf, your unofficial but one-stop destination for bento box information. As always, I am JB.
I am Mike. Hello, everyone. Hope you are doing well this evening.
So, it's Monday, and the shows are a little bit on hiatus except for the Great North. So, for us, we'll be talking about the new change coming, which is the Thursday lineup. If you haven't heard, on Fox, we'll be talking about that, your thoughts and feelings about that as well. We'll also be jumping into the new episodes. We'll have the Lone Moose Minute. And Mike said there might be a game, so we'll see if you all want to play Mike's Jigsaw game or not.
Maybe we'll see. I don't think I had anything prepared for tonight, but
that's fine. Totally.
Yeah.
Cool. But let's see who's in the chat. Hello. Looks like Yahoo was first tonight. Forgot if it was Monday or Tuesday. Yeah, it's kind of that time of year where you start to forget what day it is. Especially without any, it's going to be weird. Actually, this is a great segue. It's going to be weird that Sunday nights are not going to be animation domination.
Is it, though? Because let me ask you this. When do you watch the episodes?
I do watch them on Monday. But I guess that's kind of the thing, because now it's going to be like, I watch them on Friday.
Or you can watch them again on Monday if you like. But it literally does not change anything for, I'd say, 80% of the fan base.
Do you think this is what they're testing out?
How do you mean?
To see if it really does matter if it's on Sundays or not. Because, Sundays, it's prime TV time. Between sports, new shows, people like to just watch football and ease into the next shows in, which is kind of where animation domination usually would fall in, is like after sports, after things, it'd be like right into it. But maybe they're trying to test the waters and be like, would animation actually do better on a night where Fox doesn't do that well? Would it drive more people to watch during this time of week?
I don't know why they chose Thursday. I guess it's the closest day to the weekend that they could get without running into potential sports issues. We know they moved it to Thursday because of sports issues, which I think was a smart move by them. Why they didn't do this beforehand, I don't know, but it's a smart move by them. Knowing that a vast majority of the audience doesn't watch it until it hits streaming, because not a lot of folks have cable, and those who do are probably out doing something on a Sunday night. So again, I don't think this changes anything for a vast majority of the watching audience. I know a lot of people are up in arms about it, but again, they probably don't watch it live when it comes on a Sunday as well. And then if it were to continue to show on Sunday and it got bumped for, let's say, a baseball game, or because this is only happening for the summer, so NASCAR, what have you, then they'd be crying foul that their episodes weren't shown. So
that's true. So, you bring up a good point. A lot of people do talk about, it's annoying if, as you said, NASCAR runs over a race, or a rain delay stops it during, World Series time and things like that. And people, it's unfair that, the episode gets cut, or that airs, 20 minutes, or, not even, 5 or 6 minutes of it, and then just it's done.
Mhm.
And they're like, are we going to get a repeat of that? It's like, well, no, it aired technically.
Yeah.
So I don't disagree with you on this. I do think maybe this is a move that probably maybe Fox should have done earlier. Tested out the waters a
100%.
little bit sooner. I mean, The Simpsons have been on forever.
Mhm.
But Family Guy, all that stuff, like I think there was a time where Sunday, maybe it did make sense. I think with Fox buying a lot of the sports contracts and taking on, especially the playoffs and like bigger events where they know they're going to get a lot of viewership, I think
Mhm.
it's hard to kind of, as you said, it's really hard to be like, well, let's put these shows on where people are watching it on streaming anyway.
And I think it's telling that two of Animation Domination's heaviest shows, Bob's and Family Guy, are making the move to Thursday. So
They're
along
trying to
with
make it impactful.
they're trying to get folks there with two shows that they know the audience will follow. That's another reason why Bob's was able to go on such a long break and come back, because they knew the audience would follow them to any time, any date, whenever it came back on, the audience would be there. So I'm not shocked to see Bob's there and Family Guy. I'm also flanking Grimsburg and the Great North, which we know kind of need help right now. So I'm not surprised that it's not the heavy hitters of Bob, Simpsons, Family Guy, and then a third filler or a fourth filler. Um, so, I mean, yeah, I'm not shocked. I think it's a smart move by Fox, and I think folks that are kind of losing their minds over it moving a day are just looking for something to be mad at.
Because I mean, the next thing will be, well, there's only 15 episodes. That'll be the next thing that we end up hearing a lot of just negativity surrounding. And yeah, it's not 22, but it's 15. It could
And
be none. It could
to
be
that
yeah.
to that point, we haven't gotten 22 episodes in about 3 seasons now. 2 or 3 seasons. So folks crying foul over that just haven't been paying attention. So
And a
I'm
lot
not
of
sure.
yeah. And a lot of this too, we're gonna get a lot of lot of writing polish. I expect there'll be more time. Because I mean, we talked to like Aaron and other people, and when other guys were doing retakes and stuff, and they'd be like, "Oh, it's a quick turnaround. We don't get a lot of time. Sometimes it's like the weekend or the week of, we're shipping these things out to get put on to broadcast, to get ready, and it's fixing all the last minute things. And now maybe they'll have more time to flesh out jokes, to really hone in on those things, to make sure that like all the episodes are top tier, like the best that they could put out.
Well, we
And
know according to Aaron, they're not going to that less episodes doesn't mean more time on production. That that's what he told us. Maybe punch up on the writing part, but as far as once it goes into production, they still got to get it out, because I assume now we know each season of Bob's Bob's, Family Guy, American Dad, and Simpsons are getting 15 episodes. What
Yep.
we're not quite sure about is how those 15 episodes will be distributed. Is it
Yep.
15 weeks in a row? Is it 7 on, a little break, and then 8 more later? So 15 episodes, but not necessarily over 15 weeks.
I guess, which one would you guys prefer out in the chat? I'll let you guys think about that as we get to some. Looks like RVA was talking about like it's an odd time to switch, but he's always going to watch. That makes sense. I saw someone AJ broke his toe. That sucks.
Oh, been there before, bud.
Yeah, that's not a fun time.
And
people mostly say they watch on Hulu next day.
Exactly.
That's usually when we do it as well, just because it's easier that way for me and our schedules. Oh, summer since the next year's World Cup. That's a good point, Yahoo. Could be. And I mean, they're taking on a lot of MLS games too. So I think they're just taking on a lot more sports activities, especially on the weekends.
Now here's the thing. This right now, the move is only for this summer. It could happen again next summer, but as far as we know, as far as it was announced, this is only strictly for this summer. May through July, I guess, or whatever the case may be. We know Bob's is back in May, so tail end of May through July or August. Now, what I'm curious about is that we have 15 episodes. If we do 15 weeks straight of episodes, that brings us 4, 8, 12.
It's
So
only
three and
three
a
and a half
half
months.
months. So May, June, July, August, roughly late
Like
August,
half
early
September, and that's
September.
it. Yeah,
Yeah. So
probably ends
that,
right around baseball.
yeah, it'll end roughly when the new season should be beginning.
Mhm.
Um, now,
Does
what
that beg
I
the question of them? Because I mean, then we're getting into football season right there too.
mhm, mhm.
Because does it make sense that then we get new seasons start? Because we've always had them in September. Is it one of those things where we see them delay it till almost like January, like after the holidays, after sports and things are all wrapped up, when there's this lull and there's really nothing going on, to be like, okay, let's go ahead and bring out the animation block.
Well, another thing that I don't think a lot of fans are thinking about is, let's say it ends mid-September, let's say these 15 episodes. Um, and actually, now that I think about it, the the summer season, the move to Thursday, is just the tail end of season 15.
Yep.
That's not the start of the 15 episodes.
No, it's not.
So essentially, we have what, maybe another 8 to 10 episodes left in this season, give or take.
Potentially, yeah. We were never able to like nail down if it's 20 or if it's 22 that they
How
ended on.
many episodes are we in at the moment?
I want to say we're close to 8 or 10. Let me take a look real quick and see.
So
But I'm curious if this is just a test run and if it does go over decently well, if they just keep it.
I could see that. I mean, I could see that for like the summer,
Mm-hmm.
and but then like where does like Grimsburg and
We're at
Crapopolis and
10
Fingers?
episodes already, so we maybe at most have like 11 or 12.
Okay, so let's say, just ballparking, we're running at an even 20 episodes. Let's say that starts at the end of May, June, July. That'll bring us through mid-July, maybe early August. Take a couple weeks off, start back up in September.
Yeah, if I do the math, 20, what was it? 29th, we get the first one. So that'll be 1. The 5th is 2. 12th is 3. 4, 19. 26 is going to be midway point. Yeah, those Thursdays, there's 5 every month. So
Yeah.
at most, we're done in like late July. Like August, we'd literally maybe have 1 episode on the 7th, and that would be it.
So essentially, we're running the same schedule we did for last season after they went on their long break. Just now we're doing it on a Thursday. We take a break in July through September when episodes usually kick back in. And then we run for maybe 8 weeks, hit the
Yeah,
NFL playoffs.
scattered.
Yeah, hit the NFL playoffs. January starts up all the other shows, Crapopolis, Grimsburg, Lord willing, the Great North. And then we pick back up again in the summer for the other half of the episodes.
I guess. I mean, I think that's what they're kind of planning. But it's just an odd. I mean, we've been used to breaks and things like that. I think it's just there's been a lot of change. And I think that's what people are kind of nervous about, all the change and all the just like it happening so quickly and it just being like, oh, this is happening. So I think people get freaked out by that.
And if we're being perfectly honest, the only real potential change, I mean, obviously we have a date change, but the only real potential earth-shattering change for all of us is the Great North. We know Crapopolis is good. We know, because the creator of Universal Basic Guys told us they'll be back in the fall. And then all the legacy shows are fine. The only odd man out right now is the Great North. We haven't heard anything yet. So I don't think a date change is it's certainly not gonna affect what we do here.
No.
Again, I don't think it's as big of a cosmic shift as everyone's making it out to be, but I think everything's gonna be fine.
I think it'll be good. I think it's just everyone is really used to how the things have been when Animation Domination's always been Sunday nights. It's like the ritual, but now it's we've entered the age of streaming. It's different now. And I think Fox is testing those waters to be like, well, if it's streaming and we see the numbers are up for streaming, so why not just put some emphasis and some energy into it and see if it's worth doing it or
I
not?
think another reason for the move, obviously, other than shifting it from sports, is if they move it to Thursdays, and let's say the folks who do watch it on Thursdays, that allows them to sell advertising time Thursday nights now, which probably isn't typically a big night for TV viewers and advertising in general. Because I don't know about your plan, but I have a commercial free. Like, I don't have commercials on my Hulu.
Yep, same.
So one of the reasons they're having such a hard time, figuring out streaming and how to advertise is because nobody has commercials anymore. So they can't sell advertising, which means they can't make money off of it. So they're trying to find new ways, and they don't know how to push the streaming, which is why sites like us, sites like all the other various Bob's Burgers, to Lone Moose and back, all of those sites are so important because essentially we're doing the heavy lifting that Hulu or Animation Domination haven't figured out how to do, because there's money involved in there, and we obviously aren't dealing with all that. So we're kind of doing the heavy lifting that they're just not able to do.
And usually, like we've talked about this before too, a lot of the times when you look at like the social media pages that the pages have, those are usually a company running those. It's not usually a fan or a group of fans.
No,
that
it's
are
usually like
running it.
interns.
And usually, yeah, and it's not usually that they're putting out content and things that most of you guys want to see, or like behind the scenes stuff, or like tattoos or trivia. They usually kind of put like little clips of episodes that are coming up, or things that like are based around the holidays, and that's kind of it. And it's usually like sporadic. It's like once every week they kind of litter some things out there, and that's it. But as Mike's point, like Lone Moose and Back, us, and other pages are really putting out like 2 to 3 posts a day of just like trivia, tattoos, whatever it is that's related to the shows. And it's what kind of builds up that momentum and that stuff that the fans are kind of looking for. And it's just, for us, it's like fun things to find. And we're just like, well, this is cool. Maybe someone else likes
it. And for what it's worth, I mean, the folks who run the official pages, I'm sure they're fine at their job. They're given parameters to work within.
Oh yeah,
we're not saying they're just pumping out shit because they have stuff they don't want to do. But it's very clear when something's done because of a job and something's done because you enjoy it or love it.
It's just a little different.
Animation needs to hire you guys. From your lips to God's ears, sir. Pray for Twitch streamers to watch the show. It's
hard because Hulu doesn't let you cast it. They don't like to. They usually get the black screen. Because like we've talked about doing watch parties and stuff like that. We thought it'd be kind of fun to do that. But it's not easy to figure it out. And yeah. So it just makes it a little bit difficult.
You feel Crapopolis could come to an end after next year? Can confirm that Crapopolis is fine. Yeah.
It won't.
Yeah, we're only on season 2 right now. I believe they're already in production on season 4. So they're fine.
Yeah. I saw Homer posted something about 300th episode. Yeah, we were talking about that a couple days ago.
That information was posted on WGA's website and then immediately taken down. So until it goes back up, we're not running with it. I mean, we saw the information.
We did. And it's kind of what we thought it would be anyway. The name, I mean, makes sense. The Grand Prix pre-opening, that makes sense. It's the opening before the opening. It's the day of. And we figured it'd be Lauren and Noah writing it up. They always do those kind of episodes. And it's probably more of a story for the two of them to tell, since they're the ones that developed the show. And they probably know the story better than anyone else.
I am curious as who's directing it.
If I had to guess, I would assume Bernard and Simon.
That makes all the sense in the world.
I'm gonna guess too. I'm really hoping we get aspect ratio change and the graininess, like filter and stuff. I think if they do all that kind of stuff, because I mean, with the Western, we had the aspect ratio change. The movie had the big change. I think that's when you pull Bernard and Simon in, because they're going to be the ones that will do that kind of.
I don't know. Honestly, I feel Like,
I mean, there's a lot of them that could, though. Aaron can do a lot of
yeah.
that
Well,
stuff. I feel like this. I mean, Bob's crew is so talented anyway.
I feel like for the 300th episode, Jesus
The
Christ.
300th. The
Jesus
300th.
Christ. I want them to go smaller with it. I want it to be like, because with the Western episode, like you were saying, it was big, it was grandiose. We saw these large cinematic pieces.
Big wide
Here,
backgrounds.
I want it
and yeah.
tight on the shop. I want it tight on the family. I want that. Very rarely do I want an episode that's just the family, and this is an episode where I want just Bob, Linda, and Tina. Like, if this episode turns out to not have Gene and Luis, I'd be fine with that.
I'm okay with it.
I'd be fine if Tina wasn't there. If we just get a pregnant Linda.
I think if they want to make it Tina there, I think you just show Linda with a belly. And that's it. Like, it's there. Like, she's there, but she's not there. I think that'd be fine. And I'd love to see young Teddy.
Yeah, I think we'll see.
Just because I feel like he's been there since the get-go. Him and Mort probably have always
I think we'll see Mort, Teddy, Pesto, and
no Trev.
Trev not yet. Fish odor. And then that may be it as far as the cast of characters go, because we're going so far back in time.
My only odd one that I'd like to see, and it's probably not going to change much. I think the joke would be that his outfit doesn't change, is roller skate guy going by.
Yeah, he looks like he's stuck in a certain time, and if we
like it just nothing's aged with him. And maybe that's his thing. He's just the stranger of this universe who just is always there.
Let me ask you this, and this is a question to the audience as well. Do you want it to be an old episode, or do you want it to be Bob and Linda telling a story that we get flashback, like the radio episode?
Like the radio. I want the radio vibe. We've talked about it. I think it's just better suited for that. I think it's a good story to tell the kids. And because they weren't there. And I think it's kind of an important thing to talk about. It could be about them being nervous. Like, we're doing this. It's Bob's dream. Maybe it doesn't go exactly well. But then one person's just like, that was great. That was a great burger. And it's just like, that fixes the whole night. Or he gets a big tip and he's like,
in your mind, what's the catalyst for Bob and Linda to tell the kids the story? Because obviously they're not just going to, here's a random story. You want to hear?
I think if I had to assume what it is, I think it'll be similar to radio, where they're going through a box of stuff and they find the picture of Bob and Linda in the front with the sign. And like, you wonder why it's not out. And maybe the ending of the episode is Teddy hammering it and putting it up. And that's how it ends. It's like, the sign got put up. This picture's finally up. Maybe Bob thought he lost it. Or it's the first dollar.
That's what I was just about to say. They find the first dollar. And so like in my mind, I'm picturing they're cleaning up at the end of the night. They find something, and then they're all just gathered in the restaurant, like at a booth telling the story. And like the episode starts in the restaurant. We go through the whole. It ends with them locking it up and turning off the light and going upstairs, which could also be the way the series ends. But we're not talking about that.
Yeah. I would honestly be fine with that. There was one more set piece when you were talking about it. I'm actually okay if they're sitting there just talking in the restaurant, going through the box, and the memories lead into the episode. If even like Teddy pops in and he even tells a little bit of the story. Like, he jumps in and tells like, well, I was just walking by. Or like, I was driving by and saw Bob's Burgers. And I was like, Bob Burger works then. And like, he pops in. You know, like, that's how he got Teddy.
Yeah.
Maybe he was doing handyman stuff and he's like, oh, well, I don't have any money to pay you, so here's a burger. And he's like, oh, in that
would you want to actually see, in my mind, I would like to see them going all the way up until doors open. Like, I don't know if I need to see like the day of everything opening, unless it ends with like a catastrophe, like one of the opening credit catastrophes.
That's what I'm wondering, is if the story is that it's the opening that almost didn't happen. And it was kind of like maybe Teddy and Mort and some of the more people we saw at the beginning of the series really kind of helping them launch Bob's Burgers. But really, we don't need to see the whole shift and everything. I think it's more just like them being like, yeah, people just kind of came and helped. It was kind of nice. It's like the small victory. Like the little guy actually
I
got
think it'd
help.
be fun if they had. I can't remember what the first catastrophe is in the opening credits, but if that were to play out, the fire.
The
Okay,
fire.
so the fire happens, and then like there's some kind of throwaway joke that Bob's like, "Well, at least it can't get any worse than this," and then we know, well, no, there's 3 and 4 more coming your way, bud.
Mhm.
But I wonder if it's going to be a 2-parter or an extra long episode, like Bleakening or the War Force.
Like
Yeah.
Bleakening or the War Force. I mean, I would actually think it'd be kind of funny if maybe the disasters are part of it. And maybe it's not the grand reopening, but maybe that is it, where they've tried many times to open the restaurant. And literally, it's just like each time a catastrophe happened, and they're like, I don't know if we can actually do it. Maybe it's cursed.
Let's see. Maybe we'll see Ron and Hugo. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw Hugo. Because obviously, if he's opening a restaurant, the health inspector does have to come by and do his thing. So I wouldn't be shocked if we saw Hugo. I don't think we'll see Ron, though.
I don't know, though. I almost feel like we would see a different health inspector, because remember, Hugo shows up to Bob's Burgers at the first episode, and he's just like, Linda, you
You're
work
right.
here? This is Bob, the
You're
restaurant
right.
tour. So I don't know if he knew. Maybe it is Ron who shows up first, and Hugo's the one who comes later. Or maybe it's a different one altogether.
Yeah, because at that point of episode 1, we've already done 4 reopenings. So clearly Hugo hasn't been around all that time. So that's a really good point.
Because I'd be fine if we get all the disasters and it's really like, we haven't been able to open for a month. We don't have any money left. Like, it has to launch. Like, it has to go well. And then it actually goes okay. It never goes well for Bob, but it goes okay. And they're like, well, maybe we can do this.
Cello says they do a lot of storytelling episodes. I think it would be good as its own full episode rather than just talking about it. I don't think they would give it justice. Let's say, oh no, they're definitely going to dive into it. No way they're just going to talk about it. Really flesh it out. Yeah, so I'd love to see Teddy introduced in a funny way, but annoying to Bob. I could see Teddy. Like if I had to choose a way for Teddy to introduce himself, I think maybe he's new in town and he's going around just handing out handyman cards. And then he hands one to Bob's like, hey, if you need any work done, just let me know. And then he's like, just tucks it away or something. He's like, I'll never see him again. Then they find the card years later or something.
Maybe that's the joke. Is it's the old business card, the handy hubby. It's like
it'd be
because that could be in the box. Maybe that's part of the box. Is like there's a picture, the dollar. Maybe there's like the first menu, which is really small. The note, like the menu, like the carbon copies of the tickets and stuff like that they had, and maybe it is kind of like Teddy's business card, and that's how he gets brought in. Like, who's this guy? Who's the handy hubby? Like, oh, that's Teddy. Yeah, Teddy popped in and gave us his card. That was how
I wonder if we're thinking it's going to be the radio episode. They're just going to tell a singular story. But what if we're seeing like the opening day from like different perspectives?
Oh, kind of like the idea we had with like everyone going, how Bob's essential to people.
Yeah, so we get like Bob's version
that,
and like Linda's version and maybe Teddy's version. But I don't know if Teddy was there from the beginning, but I mean that could be a fun twist on it too. That's why I said maybe we'll see Big Bob, Al, Gloria, Gail. No, I don't think so.
I don't think we'll see Big Bob. Big Bob, he was surprised that Big Bob kept his first review.
So
I think Big Bob didn't come, and I think that could actually be one of the big reasons that Bob's thinks it's cursed or it's bad because like his dad's not.
Yeah, and at that point, I believe Lily was already dead, so she ain't gonna be there.
Yeah. Yeah, she died when Bob was a teen, so she won't be there. Al and Gloria, I don't know if they'll.
No reason for him to.
It might be like that. Might be the fun thing that the win for Bob. Honestly, an easy joke, an easy punch up would be literally like, "My parents aren't coming."
Yeah.
I mean, I'm so
especially
sad.
if they're in Florida. I mean, it's safe to assume they were already old, so they probably already moved to Florida at that point. No, we've never had a chance to meet Linda and Gail's grandparents. No, I don't think they will.
I don't think
No.
we'll do that.
Yeah, we
That's
don't
too
need
deep.
to.
Plus, you don't want to introduce new characters when you're doing an episode like this. I feel like it's too much. Because then you got to explain
Yeah.
why they're there. You got to explain who they are. It takes away from
Mhm.
the time. Because even like Wharf Horse and things like that, like Fanny's in it, but it's a real quick, like, this is who this person is. And they don't play a huge role. They just are like part of the catalyst with
Yeah,
with
and
Felix. Otherwise, you're spending so much time on her. And that's not
while
what
it
you wanna
adds to the cast of characters, it unnecessarily adds to the cast of characters. Like, we don't need them. They're not going to serve any greater story. This isn't Linda's parents' burgers. This is Bob's burgers. So
Yeah.
I don't think we need to expand the Bob extended universe at all.
Not at And think about, like, this is a prequel episode. So it's like if you were like, and Star Wars does this way too much, is that they introduce something and then they never talk about it again, and everyone gets upset. Like, well, what happened to that? Who is that person? So I think Nora and Lauren know well enough not to do that, because then you have to spend a lot of time going back and talking about them and who they are, which is why we probably got Grover in earlier episodes to introduce Grover, instead of just being like, oh, who's Grover? Where's he come from? Like, oh no, he's been littered throughout the last 6 seasons.
If I remember correctly, I think it was Simon who we had on, or one of the folks from the show said that they always knew Grover was going to be the protagonist in the episode or in the movie. And that's why they introduced him in the show, so people would get to know him beforehand, and that it wasn't just a who the hell is this guy all of a sudden. So yeah,
because if you introduce someone in this prequel episode that's crucial to the plot, but you never hear about them again and you never see them again, it makes it seem very odd. Because even like when Bob's brought up Warren Fitzgerald, we did get the one episode with Warren.
And I mean, to that point, folks might say, well, what about the radio episode? We're only seeing Lily's mom once. That's a standalone episode.
It really
it's
is
its own thing. It doesn't progress the story any further. It's Bob telling a story. This is Bob's story. So I think it's going to be focused on Bob and Linda.
I think if we're going to get any tears or any things like, or feelings, it's going to be from Bob and probably Linda. That's who we're going to get the feels from.
And when you think about it, we're going to see a rare form of Bob. We're going to see Bob with hope. We're going to see Bob at the beginning of his journey, wide-eyed. The world's at his doorstep. He hasn't been broken down yet.
I mean, we're seeing him, like, think back to like the Christmas episode where we see him make the like Richard Fitzsimmons burger, the persimmon, and like, whoa, little Bob. It's like, sorry, I just get a little tense, get excited. Like, that's the Bob.
I could see a scene of like seeing Bob at like the dinner table just writing down all of these, like, through the middle of the night.
I think we will see the Burger Bible with the meat side. I think we're going to see all these recipes in these books and the ideas that he has. Because remember, like, that's who he was before. And he's kind of still that, but it takes really important moments and feelings for Bob to get there. Because he's kind of been worn out. He's been pushed down. He's kind of, he struggled. So finding hope and motivation sometimes for the little guy is hard. But this is, as Mike says, and I think it's a good point, we are going to see him like that. He's going to be really up and amped. And I think as more things go wrong, can he dig deep enough to get himself out? And I think you're going to see that he always kind of finds a way to. And I think it's just going to be interesting to see him, because, I mean, he is at his most hopeful. He finally got away from his dad. It's his first place. It's his own place. He needs it to work because he has a family coming. This is that dream of like small town bit.
And we saw a very brief glimpse of it in the movie. And I think that's where that's going to be.
Oh, when he's doing this with Linda, and he's like,
I think that's going to be close to a jumping off point, or we may see the reverse perspective of that, where we see them from the outside. So we hear the conversation that they're having. So in the movie, we saw it from the inside looking out. I think maybe in the show, we'll see it from the outside, hear their actual conversation, see him do all this.
Do you think we'll get a montage? Because when we see the building in the movie, there's no sign, there's no furniture, there's no booths, there's nothing in it. do you think we're going to see a montage of like Teddy putting it together? Like very quick, like maybe time lapse, but like, and then finally it ends with like the sign going up.
Yeah.
The lights don't go on, but the sign's up. And he's
I
like,
could
it's real
see
now.
a quick montage of like day to night, Teddy working on the inside coming out, and then like you said, the last shot is the other guys get Santa Flash. Yeah, Damon,
you guys
we are.
guessed it on the
We're trying to
flash.
figure
Yeah,
out what
we
you guys
are.
did. But yeah, I think we
Yeah.
could get a montage shot where like it's similar to when Bob was looking out at the sinkhole. We kind of got day to night.
It's one of my favorite
Exactly.
shots, honestly.
We could get that shot. We see the inside slowly being built up, and then, like you said, at the very end of the montage, one part of the sign's already up. So essentially, we're looking like this, and then they're kind of pulling up the sign like that, and then boom, it ends. Bob's Burgers. That's in my mind, and it seems like you as well. That's the montage I'm picturing.
And I think we're going for like, we know that Lauren and Nora are going to write it, so it's going to have some feeling to it. It's definitely going to have an emotional punch. I think it's just what will it be?
Because obviously
how do
the Lily episode, will Jimmy Jr. be there? I don't. Damon, we are of the mind that none of the children will be there, and that Linda is pregnant with Tina. Because
oh, do we get to see Mrs. Pesto from the back, like Ginger? Oh, Pesto. Oh, Jimmy is definitely there.
For Pesto, yeah, we think Pesto.
This is where the peeing races
Pesto,
start.
fish odor, what am I? Teddy Mort, and then potentially roller skate guy.
Maybe roller. Yeah, maybe roller skate guy, and maybe a health inspector. We don't think it's Hugo. We think it could either be Ron or just someone we don't know.
We don't think Hugo because he didn't know Linda was part of the restaurant until episode 1. Episode 1 clearly takes place after like 4 reopenings, so it wouldn't make sense. Damon, feel free to take all these notes and pass them on. If you guys might have messed up the timeline, run it by us. Give us the episode. We'll watch it first. We'll let you know.
I mean, we'll create a whole chart.
I have red string. We'll make it happen, my friend. So yeah, that's yeah, it's weird. I don't know what the emotional punch will be because obviously in the Lily episode, we had his mom Bob visiting his mom's grave for the first time.
Oh, this is a simple one. This is a simple answer. The emotional punch could be Linda is going to tell Bob she's pregnant. He doesn't know. Maybe that's the whole thing, is at the end of the night she's going to tell him.
Interesting.
But maybe it gets out early and he's like, it's got to work. Everything has to be perfect.
So Bob is stressed has the stress of opening the restaurant, and Linda has the stress of not revealing that she's pregnant because that's undue stress. I know everything.
Thanks, David. I know everything, but I'll pretend.
Well, if we're not on the right track, Damon, if we're on the right track, don't respond. Yeah, there you go. Clearly.
I was waiting when I saw Yahoo's message because there's like, oh,
shit.
Yeah, he's talking. We're way off.
I assume Lauren's watching from a post on high in the dark, making sure we're not getting all the secrets. That is a pretty good gut punch. Emotional gut punch is her revealing that she's pregnant.
Because then it's real then. Because like it has to go well. Because his whole family.
Let me ask: in the movie flashback, was she already pregnant? Like showing?
I think she was. She had a little bit of a bump. I think it could also be. I don't know if it was pen to paper maybe made her pregnant. One of the art she was doing. I don't know. I'd have to rewatch it again just to make sure. I'm sure I could pull it still, but I've been trying to find it still.
My emotional trigger, not emotional trigger, but emotional beat, I think is going to be similar to Plight Before Christmas. You actually like our speculations. Oh, sweet. I think because in the Plight Before Christmas, you had Louise kind of delivering this emotional...
she's holding her belly.
So that implies
she's doing one of these.
But yeah, in Plight Before Christmas, the emotion.
Maybe she knows it's a girl.
the emotional punch in Plight Before Christmas was Louise giving her speech. It wasn't anything big, but it was just like more of an emotional thing. I think in my version of things, the emotional punch is the restaurant opens and there's not really any foot traffic, nothing's really happening. They haven't sold anything, and then Bob makes his first sale, and then he's like, I've done it. I've succeeded. I've done it. This is the first in many, and that maybe that's the $5 bill that we see that he finds. He's like, this was our first sale, and I remember how good I felt in this moment. So maybe that's Bob's Christmas speech from Plight Before Christmas, or his version of.
I like that. I'm fine with
If we
it.
get a Halloween episode sometime this year, I guess that this ending will be a Halloween episode. We'll see. That's a season 15.
We're hoping for a spooky. Yeah, we're hoping for something
Yeah.
spooky soon. I mean, we would love to see. We're always about holidays, but we'd love to see at least one, maybe two. But we'll see what we get. We're happy with whatever.
I mean, we've been getting.
I love another Thanksgiving.
Yeah,
it's been a little bit.
This was real. I wanted to indicate the night Tina was conceived. I assume that didn't really get far in the idea process there, Damon.
It's part of the 4-hour.
It's the 4-hour cut of the 300th episode. Maybe we just hear the moaning like we heard from Gloria in Crawl Space. Maybe that's how the episode ends. We just
maybe it does.
I'm actually sitting in a thumb meeting right now. Oh, well, bring us in. We'll talk to everybody. We'll let them know what we're thinking.
Yeah, we got some.
Yeah, you got time to change the entire episode to meet what we just said. Patch us in.
I can storyboard with stick figures.
Yeah. You here. I
Mike
can't
will
draw.
Talk while I pretend to board.
I can't draw, but we'll use this as like a Bob and a Linda. Yeah,
we could just use these pins. I'll get some pins.
Yeah, so just get us in. Just get us in the room where it happens for all you Hamilton fans, I think. Let's see, it would turn out something on a Tina birthday episode. No, not Tina's birth. Tina's conception. That's totally different. I'm not going to be the one to tell you why they're different. You can figure that out. Totally different.
Yep.
But yeah, that's I am simple question. You think there's an intro or no?
I don't. I think they pull right up to the restaurant in their car. I think that's it. Because if they do an intro, I think it's just going to be Linda and Bob in front with the things happening. And the cars are going to look older. The buildings are going to look older. I think it's going to be, if that's it, and then instead of them turning, it's going to be them walking into the restaurant. Like they were standing up front. Or they're going to come down the stairs and walk in.
I think,
and like today's the big day.
Yeah, I don't think there's going to be a traditional intro. I don't think there's going to be a modified intro. I think we're going to go right into the episode, like you said. But I think the end credits will be a modified.
The grand reopening sign in front as they come down, and that's their discussion. Is it's the big day?
Yeah,
happening today.
Maybe that's I like how I said. I think I can reveal this, so I'll just put it in the public. I drew cigarettes ashtray on their apartment table. Got good laughs, but they nixed it for sure. Yeah. They're not going to show. I
can totally see. I mean, it's part of the food industry. I can see Bob being a smoker at some point.
I'm honestly surprised we haven't done any kind of nod to, or maybe I've missed it, to the bear yet.
To what?
The bear.
Oh yeah, chef.
Yeah, and anything like that. But I do think. No traditional intro. I like your idea of them coming down and whatever the catalyst for reflecting on why they are telling the story happens. But I think the outro or the credit scene should be a modified intro where it shows just Bob and Linda standing in front and then maybe the progression of stuff. And then Linda's belly gets bigger and bigger and bigger. And then, I think that would be a fun little outro.
Is this too much? Does Linda give birth that night? Is she not there because Tina is being born?
She's not at the restaurant? I wouldn't think
Bob.
Bob would. Well,
Maybe that's it as he closes the first opening.
Is that how we figure out the kid who he wasn't at the birth for?
Maybe.
Because remember in episode 1, he missed the birth of one of the kids.
He missed it. Yeah, it was Tina.
Interesting. That would be a fun little callback, Damon.
Because we were poor and we had to work.
Damon, we're going to be looking for these things.
Maybe he closed early, though, to go see her.
We're going to have an extra special breakdown of this episode whenever it comes out.
Yeah.
So I hope you guys
4 hours, guys, just like our first live broadcast.
It's like our fucking movie stream.
This is our Super Bowl.
I wonder, Damon,
Mayhem will be there to clear his name.
Alive.
He's still alive and well.
Damon, maybe I'm sure you can answer this question. Do you all have the same in-depth conversations that we do about this?
I'm just waiting for a blanket. No.
Yeah. No, stop asking. Don't worry about it. Just enjoy the episode, jerk. Like, okay. Fair enough. Yeah, just pick our brains. We're here. We're here for you guys, Damon.
Yeah, we're here.
And I don't think Aaron's in the chat, but Aaron, if you're here, just let us know. We'll give you the skeleton. You can, all you fancy writers can fill in all the space. So we can get back to this in a minute, but I think we only have one episode to discuss. So let's get to the
We should get to it.
Yeah,
because it's a good episode too.
It is. I'll let you take it from here.
All right, guys. So we did get one new episode this week. We did get a Great North episode, which is titled Ham to Lose a Guy Adventure, a reference on how to lose a guy in 10 days. But we get the cast and crew today of Matt Lawton is the writer. We have directed by Dan Bryant, who we've had on the show before. Super nice guy. And this episode, I know a lot of us were wondering, like, is Crispin going to come back? Is he not going to come back? Is it just kind of like, that's it? And I think we're actually seeing the continuity play out that Ham is really having a hard time. And he's struggling. He's definitely depressed. And initially, when I was watching this episode, I thought maybe he's just depressed because he's kind of lonely and misses Crispin. Mm-hmm. But as the episode progresses, we start to notice more and more. It's not that he just misses Crispin, it's that Crispin has potentially moved on. And he has a new boyfriend, and Ham does not. And Ham is really struggling with kind of like, was this the right thing to do or not? Mm-hmm. And I think most people have been in this situation at least one time. If not, you've thought about it. It's uncomfortable to be in that spot. Mm-hmm. So this episode felt real in a lot of ways.
Mm-hmm. Quick interjection. Damon says also they nixed a lot of pregnancy stuff I wanted to add, even though my wife was actually 8 months pregnant and I wanted to shit. No, I wanted to add details of pregnancy. Okay, so safe to assume Linda is pregnant. I mean, obviously she was pregnant in the movie before they opened the restaurant, so that's not really a shocker. So now, what would be a shocker
nod too is that Linda gives birth in the restaurant. It'll be the third baby that's been born here. But I feel like they would have referenced that at some point. Like, oh, Tina was born right over there. No, so I don't think it'll be that.
Yeah.
But good to know.
Oh, I missed the end of the boars because my wife gave birth, so I also didn't see that. Well,
get them.
Get them and email them to us. Along with the original movie script, please.
Yes, please and thank you.
I'm going to have a long flight to San Diego, and I need something to read.
I just want to proofread it. That's all.
Yeah, I just want to make sure the movie's done right. Great North. Good episode. Gonna sneeze.
I felt it was very... They captured all the moments of what a breakup and like a rebounding feeling is like. And like, again, the Tobins had best intentions trying to help him. Because they're like, Ham... This isn't Ham. This isn't what he's like. He's very happy-go-lucky, fun. He wants to bake. But you can see, like, his depression is there. He's not doing any of the things that he usually does. He's not baking. He's not doing well in school. He just wants to be in his blanket. He's very depressed. He's watching the same show over and over again. He's just trying to just exist. And he's trying to, like, hopefully work through it. But I think the family wants him to get through it quicker because it makes them uncomfortable watching him be this way. So they try all the things.
I do wonder if the episodes have been shown in the original order, because I mean we just had a beef breakup episode, and how he's dealing with it, and now we have the ham version of it. So I wonder if they were originally meant to be shown that close to each other, or if they were just like, no, these are airing now. I thought the episode was good, but I don't know, it just didn't resonate enough with me, I guess, or I don't know, but for some reason it just wasn't.
I think this episode, I mean, the first episode where they have Crispin and him break up has pretty big impact, like emotional impact. Like you can kind of feel the tension there, and they're kind of like, they both want that. They both still care about each other, but they're like, it makes sense that we would just do this and break up, because like we both don't know really what we want. And that felt like complete and resolved. This just kind of felt like they had that first part there, but then he's just like, I just want Beef and Judy to feel bad about trying to set me up and get me to feel better, like I told you so. I almost wish it was more of like because as you said, like, were they aired in the right order? Because if they weren't, it could make sense that if Beef didn't break up with Alice until later, that it would be a good moment for him to be like, we're kind of in the same boat, son. Like, we can kind of talk about this and our feelings. Like, I feel kind of down too sometimes. And it's hard to kind of think and see like she's walking around with someone else.
I would have liked that.
That's what I was thinking.
They came together. Yeah.
Because it's like, that's Beef being pretty vulnerable, but she's been kind of doing more this season. And I thought that'd be a great bridge. Or even like Judy's gone out with a couple people and it hasn't worked out. And just kind of like, Cam, like, you saw me too. Like, it's not easy. And like, I thought, I always like, you came and got me out of that. So I kind of wanted to do the same thing for you. Maybe I just should have let you lead on that. And that could have been more of the moment. Like, the Tobins were always jumping in and trying to save each other. Where now they're learning, like, it's better to kind of just let that person tell you what they need, not assume what they need. It could have been a good family lesson.
Yeah. Now, I'm one of the few who didn't mind them breaking up. I see Homer fan was not cool. I didn't care about that at all. It's fine.
I think it made sense based on their age. Plus, it was like their first like relationships and stuff like that, and it makes sense that they're kind of like, it'd be cool if it worked, but like, what if?
Yeah, and it's hard to feel bad for him when he was the reason why it all happened. Like, you can't be mad that you wanted something, got what you wanted, realizing that maybe it's not what you wanted. That you can't expect the other person to just wait around. Plus, you're like 16. So calm down.
There's still an opportunity. It's fine. I think it's just more about that. There's just some growing up to do.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean it won't happen. Just it wasn't the right time.
Yeah, I honestly do not care if it does.
I think there's plenty. And from what Lone Moose seems to be, it seems to be a hub. So I think there's plenty of options for Ham. I think it's just he needs some time to work through it.
There seems to be a lot. Also, I think Ham might be too young for the apps. I don't have any experience in the field, but I feel like you at least need to be of age.
And I like that to prove the point. It's just like, just let me kind of figure this out on my own. Like, I know you think it'd be great for me just to go out with someone else, but I don't want to go out with just someone else. I think Ham's more of like, if I want to go out with someone, it's someone I want to go out with.
Also, yeah, it gave more depth to Ham, because he kind of, let's face it, he's kind of had an easy.
He's goofy, here. And he's just kind of like, he's the fun, outgoing, goofy guy.
Yeah,
who likes to bake, and he's sensitive, but this showed a very vulnerable side to him. Like, he's devastated. Like, he looked really bad.
he's a gay teenager in a world that fully accepts him, so he hasn't really had to deal with that adversity. Some of the cake stuff he's had to deal with, but he hasn't really dealt with like life issues, and this is the one issue that's kind of his own making, and now he's dealing with the repercussions.
Because remember, like when we first meet Crispin, he's chasing Ham. He likes Ham. Ham has no idea until they're dancing, and he like Crispin kisses him. And he's like, "Oh, that's what this is." So Ham just didn't even know. And then it kind of, as like Jay-Z brought up too, like Crispin then became like, I'm really comfortable with this. I like this a lot. And Ham was having second thoughts about it. And then Crispin kind of came around to it to be like, maybe this is something we need to explore.
Yeah. I mean, he gave Ham what he wanted. He gave him what he wanted.
I think Ham now realizes that maybe what he wanted is uncomfortable. And he's going to have to deal with that because you can't, as Mike said, you can't keep the other person just on the line waiting.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is that Wonder Years. I know we're aging. I'm aging myself here, but the Wonder Years definitely goes into this.
Oh, yeah. The artists talk a lot like this. I actually like their alt reality of the family, like the crew fanfic of the show would be awesome, in my opinion, into the Belcherverse.
I would love, like, Damon, you did the comics. I'd love to see this universe in a comic, like the Bizarro, the Bob Bizarro would be fun.
You guys could do the comic books. Think about it.
But that's kind of what my take was, is that it's more, it could have gone in a different direction with Beef and Ham bonding and the family kind of rallying around like how to help him come back. Maybe they all help him bake a cake or get back into baking, and it's like they watch movies with him, like they sit down and watch the show together with him, which they did, but it's like those little acts could be like, this is what he's telling you he needs to help him work through this.
That's exactly how I'd want it to play out. They do all the same stuff. They did laser tag, they do the movie, they do X, Y, and Z, and Beef kind of has this dad click, and you're like, you know what, this is what he needs, and they're just sitting on the couch and they just talk. And then Ham kind of has his breakdown or whatever he needs to have.
Maybe he gives him a hug and we don't see him cry or hear it, but like he just like gives him a hug and like that's the end of the episode. Like that's enough.
Yeah, and perfect shot. They're sitting on the couch. They're watching Ham's show, the Pancake Boys,
whatever the hell it was called. Pancakes for Everybody or whatever.
Yeah. And there's no words. They don't talk. But Ham just kind of like leans in and puts his head on his dad's shoulder, but we see that from like behind the couch. So we're looking at them and the TV.
Over him and
and then we just kind of just like fade to black, and we're like, oh, that'd be dope.
Guys, we're available.
Get at us, bro. But you've heard a lot of our thoughts. Let's check in with our buddy Sam from To Lone Moose It Back in this week's installment of the Lone Moose Minute. Did I sound like him there?
Yeah, you did actually. It was really good.
Thank you.
You could pass.
Hello everyone, hope you are keeping well. It is Sam here, aka To Lone Moose and Back, with another edition of the Lone Moose Minute here on From North to Wharf. We're after a week off for the Easter break. The Great North returned last night with Ham to Lose a Guy adventure. And I'll be spending the next few minutes or so giving you my thoughts and feelings on this particular adventure. So what did I think of the episode in general? To be honest with you, I felt it was just okay, not great. Definitely the weakest of the season so far, in my opinion. In fact, at times, it felt like a bit of a slog to get through, especially after having some absolute bangers in episodes in recent weeks as well. Nothing against Matt Lawton, the writer, or DeMille Bryant, the director, because they have been responsible for some absolute crackers in the past, but this just wasn't one of them, I'm afraid. The main plot wasn't particularly exciting. I do get that Judy and Beef were trying to help Ham get back on track and feel better about the whole Crispin and his new boyfriend Sean situation, but it just came across as more interfering as opposed to helping. It's like Ham said near the end of the episode, and I agree with him, he just needed to process his feelings his own way. I know I do sometimes when I get in certain situations, and if that way was hiding under a depression blanket, watching Pancakes and Feelings Club 7 times all the way through, then let the man do it. But I'm happy that Judy and Beef did recognise what they did, but they were being selfish, and to be honest, I felt it was a bit out of character for them, especially Beef. But then again, I do kind of understand that Ham did remind Beef of himself when he was going through the similar situation with Kathleen, and he didn't want a repeat of that. Plus, the plot was also responsible for introducing someone who, for me, is up there with Cousin Danica and Miss McNamara as one of the worst and most annoying characters on the show. Kenzie. The less said about Kenzie, the better, I think. Let's just hope he doesn't show up again. Wouldn't mind seeing Ezra again, though. I did quite enjoy seeing him, but they are together, so hopefully one shows up without the other. The subplot wasn't really anything to scream about either. Wolf trying to quell the rumours that he eats worms, which we found out was started by Mayor Peppers, as he does to try and boost town morale during the bleak month of February, which, like I said, is a bleak time for Lone Moose. In fact, I haven't written much down about this because I haven't really got much to say. The idea sounded good when I heard the plot synopsis for the first time. I was looking forward to seeing how it was executed, but to be honest with you, just fell a bit flat. Definitely being more critical this week, which I hate to do as I absolutely adore the show, but I do feel that it was needed, and because of that, I'm going to give Ham to Lose a Guy Adventure the lowest rating so far here on the Lone Moose Minute, a 6 out of 10. Hopefully there won't be too many episodes in the future that will get that rating, like Dungeons Aren't Dragons Adventure, which I will be covering on the next edition of the Lone Moose Minute. Hopefully that's a bit of a rebound back into form. But until then, thanks for watching, hope you've enjoyed, and I'll hand you back to our wonderful hosts.
Ooh.
Oof.
Kitty's got claws. Also, Cannibal Corpse shirt. Good on you, Sam. Love
Yeah,
you, bud.
give him the applause for that, but man, I felt like I've been thwarted by royalty.
Anyways, Damon here. Anyways, meeting ended. Gonna go pick up Chipotle. Nice.
Same.
But I also just moved into. Oh yeah, you did move into. Hopefully that went well for you, bud.
Yeah, hopefully that turned out good.
I'll print and send those things to you. Oh yeah. Whatever, Damon.
Sure.
You're very busy.
Sure.
You feel free, just because it took so long. If you just want to toss in the script or whatever, man, it's whatever.
Yeah, or there's all the script covers for this season or next season, and if you want to tell us when they're doing the airing for the 300th episode party, that's fine too. We could definitely run catering. We can do things. We have ways.
Not telling you what to do, just suggestions.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, thank you, Sam, for another Lone Moose Minute. We really appreciate that. He checks in every week with us in order to do that. It's quickly becoming a fan favorite segment. And we are more than thrilled that he allows us to air those for him.
Yes, really. I mean, it does put us to shame sometimes. Although I thought we did pretty good this week. With
I thought we did very good.
I did too.
And to Sam's point, the B plot was
we didn't even talk about.
I was like, it's so much nothing that we didn't even touch on it. But yeah, it was.
The only thing
I feel justified with Sam not being a fan of it.
Because I mean, the B plot, to what Sam said, it wasn't really expanded on. It was just kind of there.
Yeah,
I think if it was an ongoing joke that every year Mayor Peppers makes a rumor about Wolf, that could be fun because then he can have a montage of all the rumors that he has said. And just like, this year's is by far the most heinous, and it's like that I eat worms, that's the worst you can come up with, and it's like
that would have been a fun A plot where we're just trying to figure out who's making all these rumors up.
Exactly. Where they've been coming from. It's like Mayor Peppers. Why? I don't know. It seemed like fun because they could have spoofed Scooby-Doo. It could have been fun then.
Yeah, it could have been a lot of things, but again, I mean, it's a fine episode. Just like Sam was saying, when you have so many good ones before that, it's kind of like, oh, what happened here? Not that it was a bad episode, just not my favorite.
Yeah, and I agree. There's been, in his own words, bangers and crackers.
Yeah,
but this was not it.
God bless that man.
Wizard addiction.
Yeah. A little North to Wharf YouTube news. I mean, obviously you're watching this on YouTube, but we will be releasing a video on May 1st, which is Free Comic Book Day, where I will be going over the 4 different versions of the free comic books from the Bob's Burgers comic book series. This won't be an episode that Patreon gets first. It'll just go out live to everybody on May 1st. So that should be fun. If you're not part of our Patreon and you don't know, paying members at the $3 or $10 level, you get the episodes a week in advance. We usually try to pop out an episode every week. We've been pretty good on that, short of maybe 1 week. We're looking to get back into doing the fan commentaries because that was exclusive to the $10 level. So hopefully if we pop out a lot more of those, folks will see the value in that, and we'll get those out to you guys. Beyond that, not really much else. Let's see. Patreon. No, I mean, if you want, cool. If not, there's no harm, no foul. You won't get any less. You'll get less content, but you won't get anything less as far as the live stuff goes. $3 folks get it early. $10 folks get exclusive stuff, and that's really the difference there. So we thank you for those who can monetarily support us. We appreciate it. The show now pays for itself, which is always fun. Because
it does help us, and then it allows us to do fun things, which we've been talking about trivia again, so that will probably be coming up soon. We'll pick a day and get that knocked out. We want to do a big one for the Great North near the end of their season as like a send off for the next one, and then for Bob's, we were thinking about doing one if there's a break in the next couple episodes that we might do one for that. And then I do have some things, so we'll try to do some giveaways at that point too. Because now that the show is able to kind of pay and we can get this and restream and stuff covered, then that allows us to do some small fun things for you.
Yeah. But yeah, anything else you'd like to cover before we kind of wrap up for the night here?
I think that'll be it, actually. I'm hoping I'm going to do some reshoots tonight. So
yes.
Make sure that doesn't happen again when a file gets corrupted.
Tease for all of you who aren't paying members yet. JB will be shooting a in-depth video on the 2024 San Diego Comic-Con Bob's Burgers exclusive pin set. He has the entire collection to include the ultra rare Meat Man pin. So he'll be going over all of those, and you'll get that early on Patreon, or you can wait a week later and you'll get it on the YouTube. Don't give away the goods for free. That's it. That's all they get.
That's all they got. Because I'm going to do an in-depth dive. I talk about each one, what I like about them, dislike about them. I'll talk about how you can get them. They're a little bit harder to come by now, but how I got the set, how it works, how you can sometimes do deals on eBay. So I will go through my whole process of how to gather these 10 pins in the set, which was quite difficult. So once this one goes up, I'll go through the wall. I might even take pictures of the wall and be like, what do you guys want to know about? And then what do you guys vote on is what I will talk about.
And then I'm sure JB will have the very funny yet humbling story as to how the Meat Man pin came about. Not humbling, but
that's what took up most of the first shoot.
Yeah,
I was talking about Meat Man.
It's very fun. Leave us wanting more. And that's what we're hoping for, RVA. Yeah, like I said, the YouTube stuff, it'll always come out.
But over on Patreon.
Yeah, if you want it early, it's over on Patreon. If you want our fan commentary, those will never leave Patreon, but they'll never be on YouTube. So that's exclusive. Which essentially it's just us here. If you ever seen Mystery Science Theater 3000, we do that, but with Bob's Burgers and Great North episodes. Sometimes a lot more swearing because we are not beholden to anybody there. So, but this has been another episode. Actually, this is episode number 73 of From North to Wharf Live. I've started to keep count. So this has been From the Great North to Wonder Wharf. Yeah, we'll celebrate 100. Your unofficial but verified one-stop destination for bento box information. As always, I am Mike.
And I am JB. It's been a pleasure, everyone.
See you next week, everybody. Stay safe. Love you all. Good night.